Imagine just for a moment the world going quiet. No buzz of electricity in the walls, no hum of computers or devices, not even the reliable light from a simple bulb. What if, with a sudden jarring shock, all electronics on Earth abruptly stopped functioning? It's an event called a global shutdown, an idea that might sound like it's ripped straight from the pages of a dystopian novel. But in actuality, it's a conceivable reality. A global shutdown isn't about a temporary power outage or a localized incident. Instead, it's a scenario where the intricate web of electronics that blankets our planet, an infrastructure that drives our communication, transportation, healthcare, and economy, grinds to an indefinite halt. We're talking about an event so massive and all-encompassing that it could affect everything from the phone in your hand to the International Space Station orbiting above us. This would plunge us into an era that could resemble the pre-electricity days. Suddenly, we're living in a world that's no longer shrinking because of our ability to travel swiftly or communicate instantaneously across great distances. Instead, the planet becomes a vast, intimidating wilderness again. How could this happen? What could cause such a staggering blow to our technologically tethered civilization? There are a few potential culprits, both natural and man-made, that we'll explore next. The prime natural suspect in our global shutdown scenario is a solar flare, or more specifically, a coronal mass ejection, CME. A colossal explosion on the sun's surface that spews an intense stream of charged particles into space. If Earth lies in the path of these particles, the result can be a geomagnetic storm that interacts forcefully with our planet's magnetic field. A particularly strong storm could induce electrical currents in our power lines, causing widespread blackouts. The Carrington event of 1859, the most powerful geomagnetic storm on record, caused telegraph systems across Europe and North America to fail. Telegraph papers even caught fire. Fast forward to today, and a similar event could be catastrophic, affecting everything from our power grid to satellites and undersea cables, the backbone of our global communication network. On the man-made side of things, we have the ominous prospect of an electromagnetic pulse, EMP attack. An EMP can be generated by detonating a nuclear weapon at a high altitude, which releases a burst of gamma radiation. This radiation knocks loose a horde of high-energy electrons that, moving near the speed of light, generate a powerful electromagnetic field as they're deflected by Earth's magnetic field. This sudden field shift can induce damaging current and voltage surges in electrical and electronic systems, potentially causing a massive continent-wide blackout. Both these scenarios, a powerful solar flare or a strategically deployed EMP, could cause the intricate electronic web our modern world relies on to unravel rapidly, plunging us into a new era of uncertainty and challenge. But what would this new era look like? Let's explore this in the next segment. As we have seen, the shutdown of all electronics is a scenario that can have several causes. But one thing is clear: the immediate and universal loss of power would have catastrophic effects on the preservation of our digital knowledge. This might lead you to question, what would happen to all the data and information that we've stored electronically? The first thing to understand is that the bulk of our digital knowledge, ranging from governmental databases to personal photos, is stored in two main formats: volatile and non-volatile storage. Volatile storage, like the RAM in your computer, requires a constant power source to maintain the information it holds. As soon as the power is cut, the data vanishes. However, non-volatile storage, such as your hard drive or flash drive, retains data even when powered off. So in a sudden universal power loss, any data in volatile storage would be instantly lost. But the integrity of data in non-volatile storage would still be at risk over the long term. Without climate-controlled environments provided by modern infrastructure, sensitive electronic components can degrade, potentially rendering data unreadable. Moreover, even if the physical storage media survive, the machines required to read this data would also need to be re-engineered, a colossal challenge in a post-electronic world. To compound the issue, even the non-digital information would be at risk. The shutdown of power would affect not just the devices we use for work, communication, and leisure, but also the systems that protect our libraries and archives. Without modern climate control systems, these repositories of knowledge would be susceptible to damage from humidity, temperature fluctuations, and pests. Overall, the loss of electronics would thrust us into a new dark age, not merely through the loss of convenience and connection, but through the irreplaceable loss of knowledge. This prompts us to ask, how would we rebuild our technology and our society? Let's explore this in the next segment. The loss of all electronics would plunge humanity into a new era, one where the knowledge and advancements we've worked centuries to achieve could be erased in an instant. We've grown so reliant on technology that we'd almost have to start from scratch, but how would we even begin to rebuild our technological world? First, we need to consider that while our knowledge of technology may be vast, the practical know-how is distributed and specialized. Few individuals have a comprehensive understanding of how to build an electronic device from scratch, let alone the complex machinery and infrastructure that underpins our technological civilization. The ability to mine and refine raw materials, to manufacture components, and to assemble and program a final product are all specialized skills spread across countless individuals and organizations. With the loss of all electronics, we'd be without the industrial and informational infrastructure that makes such distributed cooperation possible. Consequently, rebuilding would likely begin with simpler, more robust technologies. Think steam power, mechanical computing, and the telegraph. These technologies, less susceptible to an EMP or solar flare and simpler to manufacture, could serve as stepping stones toward higher technology. Recovering our current level of technology would likely take decades, if not centuries, and would depend heavily on maintaining social stability and literacy in the interim. It's important to note that this process would not be simply a replay of the Industrial Revolution. We'd be doing this with a fragmented understanding of a technological endpoint, and in a world stripped of easily accessible natural resources by prior industrial activity. The challenge then wouldn't just be how to rebuild, but how to rebuild sustainably. The path to reclaiming our electronic heritage would be a difficult one, full of obstacles and setbacks. Yet it's also an intriguing thought experiment. It makes us question our reliance on complex, fragile technology, and prompts us to consider how we could better safeguard our knowledge for future generations. In the next segment, we'll look at the potential social consequences of such a universal technological shutdown. Buckle up, because it's going to be a wild ride. With the shutdown of all electronics, our societal structure would face massive upheaval. We live in a highly interconnected world where information, goods, and services flow across the globe in mere seconds. But strip that away and we're left with a society much more localized, much more immediate. The effects would be profound and far-reaching. Imagine it. The world's cities, once bustling with technology and human activity, plunged into silence and darkness. Traffic lights stop functioning, causing gridlock on the roads. Public transportation grinds to a halt. Skyscrapers, once brilliant with light, stand dark and abandoned. Supermarkets, reliant on electronic systems for inventory and refrigeration, quickly exhaust their supplies. Our reliance on digital communication would hit us hard. No more internet, no more social media, no more instant communication across the globe. Families and friends would be cut off, possibly without knowing the fate of their loved ones. Governments would struggle to maintain control, their command and control structures paralyzed. In this vacuum, smaller, localized groups could take power. These groups could be benign or malign, but without a unifying authority, conflict would likely arise. That's not to say there wouldn't be benefits. In the wake of such a cataclysm, we'd likely see a return to more communal living, with local resources and skills becoming incredibly valuable. The experience could unite communities in a shared struggle, fostering cooperation and empathy. Education, too, would take on new importance. With our digital repositories of knowledge lost, each piece of information, each skill, each story becomes invaluable. In this sense, every person becomes a living library, their knowledge a lifeline to the past and a beacon for the future. It's a sobering scenario, but it's essential to remember that this is just a hypothetical situation. However, it serves as a stark reminder of our reliance on technology and the fragility of our digital society. In the next and final segment, we'll explore the steps we could take to mitigate the risk of such a cataclysm. Stay tuned. It's time to consider our technological future. So what could our future look like if all electronics were to shut off, plunging us into a world without the technological conveniences we've become so accustomed to? It's difficult to predict precisely, but we can make some educated guesses based on human history and our understanding of societal dynamics. In the immediate aftermath, there would certainly be confusion and panic. Our world is so deeply intertwined with technology that such a massive shift would be disorienting, to say the least. Food and water distribution would likely be a significant initial concern. With no power for refrigeration or to run machinery, our current food distribution system would fall apart. However, we, as a species, have shown ourselves to be remarkably adaptable. Over time, we'd likely see the re-emergence of older technologies and techniques. Picture candlelit homes, horse-drawn carriages, windmills and water wheels. Communities would need to become more self-sufficient, leading to a resurgence in local farming and other traditional methods of food production and distribution. Communications would revert to pre-digital methods. Physical mail, runners, semaphores, and maybe even pigeon post would make a comeback. Without GPS, old-school navigation techniques would need to be dusted off. Expect to see a rise in the use of maps, compasses, and maybe even sextants. In terms of rebuilding technology, a complete shutdown wouldn't erase our collective knowledge. Those with the skills and knowledge to rebuild would become invaluable. Mechanics, engineers, scientists, builders, these professions would be crucial in helping society regain some semblance of technological normality. The rate of this progress would depend on the availability of resources and the level of organization in these post-electronic societies. And what of governance? The loss of global communication systems would effectively fragment the world, making global governance as we know it impossible. Smaller, more localized governments would likely spring up, with power structures based on immediate needs and the abilities of individuals within the community. In essence, the world after an electronic shutdown would be radically different. The pace of life would slow, and the world would become a much bigger place. It's a scenario that requires us to rethink our relationship with technology, recognize our dependencies, and perhaps consider how we might better prepare for such an eventuality. But for now, we are left to ponder. Picture this, history as we know it, repeating itself over and over again like a massive celestial Groundhog Day. Except instead of waking up to "I Got You Babe" on the radio, humanity wakes up to an apocalypse that decimates 99% of the population. A world turned upside down where the geography we know is morphed and warped by disaster, forcing the remaining humans to start from scratch. Intrigued? Well, you should be, because we're about to embark on a wild journey through a repeating timeline. Dive deeper into the cyclical timeline theory with me, if you dare. This theory challenges everything we've come to accept about our linear progression from hunter-gatherers to the digital age. Instead, it proposes a loop, a carousel of civilization, if you will, where humans rise to grandeur, only to be reset by cataclysmic events that flip the world as we know it upside down. Now, we're not talking about small-scale disasters here. The cataclysms hypothesized in this theory are global, cataclysmic events, capable of upending civilization and wiping out a significant percentage of the human race. These cataclysms could take many forms. Some theories suggest the culprit could be something as recognizable as a mega volcano eruption or a cataclysmic earthquake. Picture the destruction of Pompeii, but on a worldwide scale. Terrifying, isn't it? Other theories go beyond our terrestrial sphere and look to the cosmos for potential cataclysms. Perhaps a large meteor strike, similar to the one thought to have led to the extinction of the dinosaurs, could play a part in resetting civilization. But what if it's not just the physical cataclysms? Could the cause be something less tangible but equally destructive? Some speculate that massive solar flares could disrupt our technology, sending us back into the pre-digital era, a sort of technological apocalypse. However, it's not all doom and gloom. With each cataclysm, humanity restarts, providing us with an opportunity to rebuild and rise again, taking the best from what came before and learning from past mistakes. But the questions remain: how many loops has humanity experienced? How different were our predecessors from us, and are we destined to repeat their mistakes? In the cyclical timeline theory, every end is a new beginning, every apocalypse a genesis. And that's a thrilling, if not somewhat chilling, concept to ponder. Stay with me as we delve deeper into the evidence that might suggest such cyclical cataclysms and civilization resets have indeed happened before. You might be surprised to find that some signs may be hiding in plain sight. Alright, hold on tight as we navigate our way back to ancient Egypt, the land of pharaohs, pyramids, and perhaps a past apocalypse. The Great Sphinx and the Pyramids of Giza are well-known symbols of Egypt's ancient civilization. But could they also be markers of a civilization that existed even before them? one that met a cataclysmic end? Well, some researchers think so. You see, the Sphinx and the pyramids may have been created by the ancient Egyptians, but they may have been built upon the remnants of an even older, now lost civilization. This fascinating theory posits that the structures were built or restored by the ancient Egyptians, but they didn't originate the design. The mystery deepens when you consider that there's evidence that these structures have been exposed to water erosion, not the wind erosion one would expect in the desert environment of Giza. Let's talk about the Sphinx for a moment. Geologists studying the Sphinx have pointed out that the erosion pattern on the Sphinx suggests it was exposed to long periods of heavy rainfall, the kind that hasn't been seen in the Giza Plateau for at least 5,000 years. This could potentially push the original construction date of the Sphinx back to a prehistoric era, long before Egypt's known history. Furthermore, beneath the Sphinx, there's a vast as yet unexplored labyrinth of chambers and tunnels. Could these hidden passageways hold records of a prehistoric civilization wiped out by a cataclysm? And then there's the pyramids. These grand structures align with true north with an accuracy unmatched by modern techniques. It's been suggested that this could only be possible if the builders had a sophisticated understanding of mathematics, astronomy, and geodesy, knowledge supposedly beyond the reach of the civilization recognized as their builders. This all points to the possibility of a highly advanced civilization, existing thousands of years before the pharaohs, potentially wiped out by a cataclysmic event and leaving behind only these massive stone structures as proof of their existence. Could our ancestors have been more advanced than we previously thought? And are we doomed to repeat their fate? That's a mystery we're still unraveling. Let's set our course now to other mysterious civilizations that vanished seemingly overnight. We're not just talking about people moving away or merging with other cultures. We're talking about sophisticated societies that abruptly stopped, leaving behind baffling clues but no clear answers. Starting off with the Maya civilization, a society known for their astronomical expertise, magnificent architecture, and complex hierarchical system. Despite their sophistication, around the 9th century AD, the Maya civilization experienced a dramatic collapse. Cities were abandoned, leaving behind magnificent temples but no trace of the people. While there are many theories, ranging from warfare, overpopulation, to environmental disasters, none fully explain this abrupt and widespread collapse. Could a cataclysmic event be the missing piece of this puzzle? Next, we journey to the Indus Valley Civilization, one of the 3 oldest urban civilizations alongside Egypt and Mesopotamia. Known for their advanced urban planning and mysterious undeciphered script, the Indus Valley Civilization disappeared around 1900 BC. Archaeological evidence suggests a gradual decline, but again, the reason behind this is unclear. Could a sudden catastrophe have spurred this decline and subsequent disappearance? Fast forward to the Late Bronze Age, around 1200 BC, a period marked by the sudden and unexplained collapse of several advanced civilizations in the Eastern Mediterranean. The Mycenaeans, Hittites, and Canaanites, to name a few, all vanished within a few decades of each other. This period, known as the Late Bronze Age collapse, is considered one of the worst societal collapses in history. Yet despite extensive studies, the exact cause remains one of archaeology's most enduring mysteries. Each of these civilizations left behind signs of abrupt endings and rapid declines. But why? Were these societies victims of their own success, succumbing to internal problems, or were they wiped out by a cataclysmic event, a global disaster that reset the clock and forced humankind to start from scratch? As we sift through the sands of time, we might just stumble upon answers buried beneath. The mystery of buried cities and lost civilizations has been a captivating subject for historians, archaeologists, and enthusiasts alike. Now, let's consider how cataclysmic events might have contributed to their disappearance. The city of Derinkuyu in Turkey, for example, is an underground city that could house up to 20,000 people. It's complete with homes, stables, churches, and even wineries, all built into the rock, nearly 85 meters underground. Was this a response to a cataclysmic event that forced people to seek refuge beneath the earth? Then we look to the Neolithic site of Göbekli Tepe, also in Turkey. This 11,000-year-old site predates Stonehenge by 6,000 years and features sophisticated astronomical aligned stone circles. Some theorize that its creators buried the site intentionally, possibly to protect it from a known coming disaster. The ancient city of Mohenjo-Daro, part of the Indus Valley civilization in present-day Pakistan, was a city well ahead of its time with planned streets, sewer systems, and even communal baths. Yet around 1900 BC, the civilization declined and the city was abandoned. Some archaeologists speculate that a major calamity could have prompted this sudden abandonment. Turning our gaze to the Americas, we have the Mayan civilization that abruptly collapsed around 900 AD. While overpopulation and environmental degradation are commonly cited as reasons, could they have fallen victim to a larger cyclic cataclysm that we are not aware of? In the Sahara, there's evidence of once thriving civilizations in what is now desert. Could a drastic shift in climate have been part of a larger cycle that buried these civilizations under sand? Now let's dive deep into the realm of the unexplored. The recurring cataclysm theory might not be the only explanation to the cyclical nature of human civilization. Other interesting theories suggest alternatives that range from cosmic interference to even extraterrestrial involvement. Firstly, the panspermia hypothesis. This intriguing theory suggests that life on Earth could have originated from elsewhere in the cosmos. Cosmic disasters like supernovae or gamma-ray bursts could lead to planetary sterilization, wiping out all life forms. As cosmic dust and rocks embedded with microorganisms scatter, they may eventually land on a new habitable world, like Earth. After millions of years, these microorganisms evolve into complex organisms, giving birth to a new civilization. A catastrophic cosmic event could reset this process, leading to the rise and fall of civilizations in a cyclical manner. Then we have the Atlantis hypothesis. While generally considered a myth, some theorists suggest that the advanced civilization of Atlantis was a real technologically advanced society that was wiped out by a cataclysmic event. They propose that remnants of this ancient civilization may have seeded cultures around the world post-cataclysm, leading to sudden leaps in technology observed in ancient civilizations. Finally, let's consider the ancient astronaut theory. Proponents of this theory believe that extraterrestrial beings visited Earth in the distant past, guiding the development of human civilization. Cataclysms, according to this theory, could be either natural disasters or perhaps even interventions by these extraterrestrial entities, resetting human development when it veers off a certain path. Now let's venture into a speculative scenario. What if we're currently living at the end of one of these supposed civilization cycles? What if we're on the precipice of another reset, another cataclysmic event that might send humanity spiraling back to the proverbial Stone Age? We can start by considering how our knowledge and technology would likely be lost, similar to how it's speculated that knowledge from prior civilizations was lost in previous cataclysms. Our complex societies, built on the foundations of thousands of years of accumulated knowledge, would crumble. We would be left without our intricate technological systems, including electricity, internet, transportation, and advanced medical capabilities, leading us back to a lifestyle that relies more on survival than on thriving. In the aftermath of such a cataclysm, future societies might struggle to rebuild. It's possible that remnants of our civilization, like our massive concrete structures or plastic waste, could serve as confusing archaeological artifacts, much like the Sphinx or the pyramids serve us now. They may become the puzzling remnants of an advanced civilization that couldn't stave off its own demise. A shift in geographical landscapes could also occur. A cataclysmic event of significant magnitude might reshape the continents, bury cities, or create new landforms. Just as we find ancient cities buried beneath layers of earth or submerged under the ocean, future archaeologists might find remnants of our civilizations hidden under new landscapes shaped by the cataclysm. Lastly, if we were nearing the end of a cycle, we could see a significant rise in natural disasters, potentially even caused by human actions. Climate change, for instance, could lead to more frequent and severe floods, droughts, and storms, hinting at an impending disaster. We don't know what the future holds, but perhaps by understanding and exploring our past, we can hope to navigate whatever comes next. After all, as the saying goes, those who cannot learn from history are doomed to repeat it. In the realm of ancient mysteries and cosmic connections, few thinkers are as provocative and insightful as Randall Carlson. His work bridges the gap between scientific observation and esoteric wisdom, uncovering a world where cataclysms sculpt the Earth's surface, cosmic cycles influence humanity's destiny, and ancient myths encode timeless truths. From deciphering geological evidence that points to massive past upheavals to unraveling the symbolism that connects civilizations across time and space, Carlson's theories invite us to view our world and its history through a profound and interconnected lens. Embark on this journey as we explore the intricate theories of cataclysms and cycles, the rock-hard evidence from geology, the predictions derived from cosmic cycles, and the profound connections unearthed in ancient myths and symbolism. Randall Carlson's work extensively delves into the concept of cataclysms and cycles, examining the history of Earth through geological evidence, ancient mythologies, and astronomical data. He argues that Earth has undergone several catastrophic events, which he believes are part of larger cosmic cycles. Carlson has spent years investigating the scars left by enormous floods in the geological record. By studying the channeled scablands in the United States, he has provided evidence that colossal floods have shaped the landscape, supporting the idea that sudden, cataclysmic events have played a crucial role in Earth's history. This contradicts the traditional slow and gradual geological models. One of the key components of Carlson's theories revolves around the Younger Dryas impact hypothesis. This theory posits that a large comet or meteorite impact occurred around 12,800 years ago, triggering massive floods, fires, and a sudden cooling of the climate known as the Younger Dryas period. Carlson argues that this event wiped out megafauna and disrupted human civilizations. Carlson also explores ancient myths and legends that describe world-destroying floods, fires, and other catastrophes. He believes that these myths may be rooted in real events and that they preserve the memory of cataclysms that our ancestors witnessed. He connects these ancient stories with geological evidence to form a cohesive narrative. Beyond isolated events, Carlson emphasizes the idea of cosmic cycles governing these cataclysms. He suggests that Earth's position in the galaxy, combined with predictable celestial mechanics, leads to periods of increased comet activity. These cycles could then lead to recurring periods of catastrophic change on Earth. Carlson pays particular attention to the precession of the equinoxes, a 2,600-year cycle affecting Earth's orientation. He connects this astronomical phenomenon to ancient knowledge, arguing that many ancient cultures were aware of these cycles and incorporated them into their mythologies and architectures. The notion of cataclysms and cycles has profound implications for our understanding of history and our place in the universe. Carlson warns that if these cycles are real, we may be due for another cataclysmic event. As with many of Carlson's ideas, his theories about cataclysms and cycles have sparked debate and controversy. Critics argue that some of his interpretations of geological evidence are speculative, and his reliance on ancient myths as historical evidence is contentious. Nevertheless, his ideas have gained a significant following and have contributed to a broader conversation about Earth's history and the nature of human civilization. Randall Carlson's theories often hinge on interpreting geological evidence in a way that supports the idea of cataclysms and cyclical events. His approach to geology integrates various scientific disciplines, including geomorphology, sedimentology, and hydrology, to present a comprehensive picture of Earth's turbulent past. A major focus of Carlson's geological investigations is the channeled scablands in the northwestern United States. These unique landscapes are marked by deep channels, coulees, and vast gravel bars, which Carlson argues are the remnants of colossal floods. He connects this with the Missoula floods, a series of catastrophic events that occurred at the end of the last ice age, caused by the repeated rupturing of an ice dam holding back glacial Lake Missoula. By closely examining the erosion patterns, sedimentary deposits, and geological formations in the channeled scablands, Carlson illustrates how water can exert immense force over a short period, reshaping landscapes in dramatic ways. He emphasizes that traditional geological models, which often prioritize slow, gradual processes, may overlook the impact of sudden cataclysmic events. Carlson also explores evidence of cosmic impacts in the geological record. He points to specific impact craters, shocked minerals, and microscopic diamonds known as nanodiamonds that suggest the Earth has been struck by comets or meteorites in the past. These impacts could have triggered massive tsunamis, wildfires, and climate shifts, leaving indelible marks on the planet's surface. The study of glacial geology also plays a central role in Carlson's work. He analyzes the movements and melting patterns of glaciers, especially during the transitions between ice ages, to understand how these vast ice sheets have influenced sea levels, weather patterns, and ecological systems. His research helps to shed light on how glacial dynamics interact with other geological processes to create complex patterns of change. In his quest to uncover the history of ancient civilizations, Carlson delves into underwater archaeology, exploring submerged structures that may provide clues to past cataclysms. He points to sunken cities, harbors, and temples as evidence that significant changes in sea levels and tectonic activity have shaped human history. What sets Carlson's approach apart is his ability to integrate geology with other scientific and cultural domains. He combines geological evidence with astronomical data, mythological narratives, and ancient architectural alignments to present a holistic view of Earth's history. This interdisciplinary approach allows him to draw connections between seemingly disparate phenomena, enriching our understanding of the planet's complex dynamics. Randall Carlson's research is not confined to the Earth alone. He extends his inquiry into the cosmos, exploring how astronomical cycles might influence geological phenomena and human history. The idea of cosmic cycles involves the recurrent patterns in the alignment of celestial bodies, solar activity, galactic interactions, and more. Carlson contends that understanding these cycles can unveil significant insights into both our past and our future. One of the fundamental cosmic cycles Carlson studies is the precession of the equinoxes, a slow wobble in Earth's rotation that causes the positions of the equinoxes to shift over time. This 25,200-year cycle has been observed and documented by various ancient cultures and plays a central role in Carlson's interpretations of ancient myths, sacred geometry, and archaeological alignments. Carlson also explores solar cycles, specifically the Sun's magnetic activity, which follows an approximately 11-year cycle. He links these cycles to changes in Earth's climate, arguing that fluctuations in solar radiation can cause significant variations in temperature, weather patterns, and atmospheric conditions. He illustrates how solar cycles might have contributed to historical climate events such as the Little Ice Age. On a grander scale, Carlson delves into the movements and alignments of the Milky Way galaxy, connecting them to potential cosmic collisions with comets and meteoroids. He examines evidence of past impacts and considers how these catastrophic events could coincide with mass extinctions, climatic shifts, and the rise and fall of civilizations. The concept of catastrophism underlies much of Carlson's thinking about cosmic cycles. He asserts that sudden dramatic changes in the cosmic environment can trigger equally sudden and dramatic changes on Earth. He aligns geological evidence of floods, fires, and glaciation with astronomical data to present a picture of Earth's history punctuated by intense and transformational events. Beyond analyzing past events, Carlson's study of cosmic cycles has predictive potential. By understanding the patterns and periodicities of astronomical phenomena, he argues that we might foresee future cataclysms and prepare for them accordingly. This predictive aspect adds a practical dimension to his work, highlighting the importance of cosmic awareness in contemporary society. Finally, Carlson's approach to cosmic cycles is deeply interwoven with his explorations of mythology, ancient wisdom, and sacred geometry. He sees cosmic patterns reflected in ancient texts, architectural alignments, and cultural practices, suggesting a profound connection between human civilization and the cosmos. This synthesis of astronomy with human culture enriches his theories, offering a holistic view of humanity's place within the cosmic order. For Carlson, myths are more than mere fables. They are allegorical records that encapsulate profound wisdom and knowledge about Earth's history. He deciphers myths from various cultures, such as the biblical flood story, Plato's account of Atlantis, and Native American legends, arguing that they may describe actual geological events like floods, meteor impacts, and cataclysms. Carlson explores how ancient myths often contain references to cosmic phenomena, such as the movements of stars, planets, and constellations. He studies myths from Mesopotamia, Egypt, Greece, India, and the Americas, revealing a profound connection between earthly events and celestial bodies. This cosmic symbolism, he argues, suggests a sophisticated astronomical understanding possessed by ancient cultures, Along with cosmic symbolism, Carlson investigates the recurring patterns and geometric shapes found in ancient art, architecture, and symbols. He interprets these patterns as expressions of sacred geometry, a universal language that reflects the fundamental structures of reality. Examples include the flower of life, the Sri Yantra, and the pyramid shape, which he sees as representations of cosmic order and spiritual truths. By examining myths across various cultures, Carlson also discovers remarkable similarities and shared themes. Whether it's the serpent symbolism in Mayan legends, the Norse world tree, or the Egyptian concept of Ma'at, he finds recurring motifs that suggest a common understanding or perhaps a shared cultural heritage. This cross-cultural connection supports his theory that myths contain universal knowledge, transcending geographic and temporal boundaries. Carlson's exploration of myths is integrally connected to his research on cataclysms and cosmic cycles. He sees in the myths evidence of past catastrophic events, such as floods, volcanic eruptions, and meteor impacts. He also links mythological accounts to specific cosmic alignments, viewing them as historical records of astronomical phenomena and their effects on Earth. Randall Carlson's research transcends traditional boundaries, weaving together geology, astronomy, mythology, and sacred geometry into a tapestry that resonates with both the rational mind and the intuitive soul. Through the exploration of cataclysms that have shaped our planet, the geological footprints that bear witness to them, the cosmic patterns that influence life's ebb and flow, and the mythological narratives that have echoed through the ages, Carlson invites us to awaken to a deeper understanding of our world and ourselves. His work challenges not only our perception of history, but also our role within the cosmos. In the intricate dance of earth and sky, science and myth, Carlson offers a vision that unites, enlightens, and inspires, beckoning us to tread a path of discovery that honors the wisdom of the ancients and kindles the flame of curiosity within. Have you ever thought about what could suddenly trigger a shift in our planet's climate? And I don't mean gradual changes over centuries, but a dramatic, near instantaneous switch. Well, around 12,900 years ago, that's precisely what seemed to have happened in a period called the Younger Dryas. But what if this sudden climate shift was not due to terrestrial events, but rather a result of a catastrophic cosmic encounter? Yes, we're delving into the realm of the Younger Dryas impact hypothesis today, a controversial theory that postulates our past and potentially our future might have been or could be significantly influenced by events not just on Earth, but in the cosmos. Buckle up, because things are about to get chilling. When we think of the past, we tend to think of a linear, steady progression. But what if I told you that sometimes Mother Nature prefers to take detours? Enter the Younger Dryas, a dramatic reversal in our planet's warming trend that took place around 12,800 years ago. After the last glacial maximum, approximately 20,000 years ago, Earth had been steadily warming up. Ice sheets were retreating, and life was adapting to the post-Ice Age world. However, this warming suddenly reversed around 12,800 years ago in an event we now call the Younger Dryas. Within a decade, temperatures in the Northern Hemisphere plummeted, causing a rapid expansion of ice sheets and a sudden shift in ecosystems. This period is named after a flower, Dryas octopetala, an alpine species well adapted to cold conditions. The dramatic increase in the pollen of this plant in sediment layers from this time is a testament to the sudden shift to colder conditions. Imagine a world where in a human's lifetime, familiar landscapes transformed into frozen tundra. Rivers that once flowed freely froze over, and the great mammals of the Ice Age, like the woolly mammoth and saber-toothed cat that were on the decline, got an extended lease on life, though ultimately short-lived. Now, the Younger Dryas lasted for approximately 1,200 years, and then almost as abruptly as it started, it ended. Around 11,600 years ago, temperatures started to rise, and within a human lifespan, they increased by about 7 degrees C in Greenland, signaling the end of this cold snap and the beginning of the current interglacial period, the Holocene. This dramatic period of climatic upheaval left a deep impression on the planet and potentially on the humans that lived through it. Now, the question that has sparked numerous debates among scientists is, what caused the Younger Dryas? When we think about extinction events and dramatic shifts in the Earth's climate, our minds often leap to the impact theory. We've all heard about the meteorite that wiped out the dinosaurs 66 million years ago. But could a similar celestial event be responsible for the sudden cooling during the Younger Dryas period? The Younger Dryas impact theory, also known as the Clovis comet theory, suggests that a massive impact or airburst from a comet or meteorite occurred around 12,800 years ago, triggering this sharp return to near-glacial conditions. This hypothesis was first proposed in 2007 by a team of scientists who found evidence of an extraterrestrial impact layer at multiple sites across North America. This layer is rich in magnetic grains with iridium, magnetic microspherules, charcoals, soot, and fullerenes with extraterrestrial helium, all of which are evidence for an impact event. This evidence, they proposed, suggested a cosmic impact event that caused large-scale wildfires, disruption of ecosystems, and the rapid cooling effect leading to the Younger Dryas. The theory also proposes that this impact event led to the extinction of many of the North American megafauna, such as the woolly mammoths and saber-toothed cats, and disrupted the Clovis culture, one of the earliest known human cultures in the Americas. The potential impact site has been a topic of discussion and investigation, with the Younger Dryas boundary-strewn fields stretching across several continents. One possible crater, the Hiawatha Glacier impact crater in Greenland, is currently a strong candidate. However, the impact theory has been controversial since its inception, facing considerable challenges and sparking heated debates in the scientific community. After all, a cataclysmic event of this scale would leave a substantial footprint in the geological record. So why do we see inconsistencies in the data, and why do some researchers struggle to find the evidence others claim is clear? Let's delve into the controversy and the ongoing hunt for definitive evidence. Evidence is the cornerstone of any scientific hypothesis. So, what evidence supports the Younger Dryas impact hypothesis? It's a multidisciplinary puzzle with pieces drawn from archaeology, geology, paleontology, and even astronomy. To start, there is a distinctive layer of sediment known as the Younger Dryas boundary, YDB. This layer, dated to approximately 12,800 years ago, is found at various sites around the world, and it's notable for its high concentration of soot, indicative of widespread wildfires. This soot layer could suggest that an extensive burning event occurred around the time of the hypothesized impact, potentially due to a fiery airburst or impact event. This boundary layer also contains unusually high concentrations of nanodiamonds and magnetic spherules. Nanodiamonds can form under the extreme pressures and temperatures generated by an impact event, while magnetic spherules are small, spherical particles often associated with meteor impacts or volcanic activity. Moreover, scientists have identified a nearly 20-mile wide crater beneath the Hiawatha Glacier in northwest Greenland. The age of this crater is not yet precisely determined, but some evidence suggests it could be as young as 12,800 years, coinciding with the start of the Younger Dryas. There's also the puzzle of the megafauna extinction. The Younger Dryas period aligns with a major extinction event, particularly in North America, where many large animal species disappeared. The sudden nature of this extinction event fits with an abrupt, catastrophic event like a comet impact. However, it's worth noting that this evidence is still under debate within the scientific community. Several counterarguments challenge the interpretations of the data, with critics arguing that there could be other explanations for these observations. As with any good scientific inquiry, the theory continues to be tested and refined, and it's this rigorous examination that pushes our understanding forward. The Younger Dryas impact hypothesis has sparked its fair share of academic debates. After all, it proposes a major, abrupt event that significantly altered the course of Earth's climate and ecosystems, a claim that naturally invites rigorous scrutiny. One of the key criticisms concerns the age and origins of the Hiawatha crater in Greenland. While some evidence might suggest the crater was formed around the start of the Younger Dryas, the exact dating is not yet definitive. Critics also point out that the impact crater could have formed from a much earlier event, unrelated to the Younger Dryas period. A second point of contention revolves around the nanodiamonds and magnetic spherules found in the Younger Dryas boundary layer. Critics argue that these tiny structures could have formed through other processes unrelated to a cosmic impact, such as forest fires or volcanic eruptions. the theory also fails, in the eyes of some scientists, to sufficiently explain the uneven pattern of extinction during the Younger Dryas. While many large species went extinct in North America, the extinction patterns elsewhere in the world are less clear-cut. How would an impact event selectively cause extinctions in one area and not another? Finally, the Younger Dryas impact hypothesis is also challenged by alternative theories for the climate change. For instance, some researchers favor the idea that changes in ocean circulation caused the rapid cooling, possibly due to massive freshwater influx from melting ice sheets. In the grand scheme of things, the controversy surrounding the Younger Dryas impact hypothesis serves as a valuable reminder of how science progresses. Hypotheses are proposed, evidence is examined, and ideas are challenged. This process, while often contentious, is necessary for refining our understanding and moving science forward. It's the nature of the scientific method in its quest for truth. The implications of the Younger Dryas impact hypothesis, if confirmed, would be far-reaching, reshaping our understanding of Earth's history and the forces that have shaped our world. Firstly, it would mean that cosmic impacts could have a much more direct and immediate influence on Earth's climate than previously thought. An impact event could rapidly change global temperatures, significantly affect the biosphere, and potentially drive mass extinctions. This would underscore the importance of monitoring near-Earth objects and furthering our understanding of cosmic threats to our planet. Secondly, the Younger Dryas impact hypothesis implies a potential link between cosmic events and human history. The Younger Dryas period coincides with the rise of agriculture and the onset of the Neolithic Revolution, the shift from nomadic hunter-gatherer lifestyles to settled farming communities in various parts of the world. If a catastrophic event like a comet impact triggered the climate changes that ushered in this period, then that means the trajectory of human civilization as we know it might have been shaped in part by a cosmic event. Finally, it also raises questions about our future. If such an event were to occur today, the consequences would be devastating. Modern society, with its complex infrastructure and reliance on technology, would be drastically affected by sudden climate changes. Not only does the Younger Dryas impact hypothesis prompt us to delve into our past, but it also forces us to consider our future in a cosmic context. In that way, it's more than just a scientific theory. It's a perspective-altering concept that invites us to ponder our place in the universe and our vulnerability to the cosmos. And so we find ourselves in the wake of a chilling realization. If the Younger Dryas impact hypothesis holds, not only does it reshape our understanding of our planet's history and the powerful, possibly cosmic forces that have shaped it, but it also compels us to consider our precarious position in the universe. An unpredictable cosmic event could, in theory, at any moment trigger an abrupt and catastrophic change on Earth. But remember, while this might seem alarming, it's also a testament to our constant pursuit of understanding the world we live in and beyond, even when that understanding challenges our assumptions and forces us to confront our vulnerabilities. After all, as we navigate this cosmic journey, it's worth remembering, we're not just observers of the universe, we are participants. What does it mean to be advanced? Is it technology, culture, energy? What if I told you there's a scale that could measure the advancement of an entire civilization based on energy consumption? More intriguingly, what if humanity were a Type 1 civilization? Buckle up, because we're about to explore an electrifying concept. The Kardashev scale was born in the mind of Russian astrophysicist Nikolai Kardashev in 1964. But why did he create it? He was exploring the idea of civilizations beyond Earth, and he wanted a way to categorize them based on something fundamental: energy consumption. The scale is broken down into several types, ranging from Type 0 to Type 3, with hypothetical types extending even further. Type 0 is a civilization that harnesses a fraction of its planet's energy. That's us, currently around 0.72, still relying on fossil fuels and fragmented in our energy approach. Type 1, mastery over all of the planet's energy resources. A true planetary civilization. Type 2, control over an entire star's energy, such as our Sun. Type 3, control over an entire galaxy's energy. A civilization of this magnitude would be almost godlike in its capabilities. Hypothetical types. Beyond Type 3, there are speculations of civilizations that could control the energy of multiple galaxies, the entire universe, or even multiple universes. Why use energy as the measurement? Well, energy is the currency of the universe. It fuels life, powers technology, and enables growth. The more energy a civilization can control, the more advanced it becomes. The Kardashev scale is not just a scientific tool, it's also a philosophical concept. It has influenced science fiction, futurism, and our understanding of what's possible. We, humans, are in the infancy of this cosmic scale. At approximately 0.72, we've begun to harness our planet's resources but have a long way to go. The path to Type 1 would mean a complete transformation of how we generate, distribute, and consume energy. The Kardashev scale doesn't just measure energy, it reflects our aspirations, our potential, and our place in the cosmos. It's a roadmap to what we could become, a challenge to grow, and an invitation to dream bigger. And as we explore this hypothetical path to Type 1, we'll uncover questions about technology, ethics, society, and ourselves. The very definition of a Type 1 civilization centers around total mastery over all the energy resources of its home planet. It's an idea that's both exciting and awe-inspiring. But what does it mean in practical terms? In a Type 1 civilization, energy would no longer be a scarce resource. Every form of energy, from solar and wind to geothermal and hydroelectric, would be fully harnessed. Imagine solar panels not just on rooftops but in massive solar farms, wind turbines not just on hills but floating in the sky, geothermal plants tapping into the very heat of the Earth's core. This civilization would operate with 100% renewable energy, leaving no waste, no pollution, and no resource unutilized. A Type 1 civilization would have the ability to manipulate weather patterns at will. Droughts, floods, hurricanes. These natural phenomena could be controlled or even prevented. The power to create rain in arid regions or divert storms away from populated areas would be a remarkable demonstration of humanity's mastery over nature. This control would have profound implications for agriculture, urban planning, and the overall stability of our ecosystem. To reach Type 1, humanity would likely need to transcend national borders and conflicting interests. It would require a level of global cooperation and unity unprecedented in human history. Think of a world where political boundaries are blurred, where global policies govern energy usage, and where humans work together to manage and distribute resources fairly. The sense of identity would shift from nationality to a shared human experience, a planetary citizenship. The infrastructure of a Type 1 civilization would be astonishingly advanced. Cities would be designed with total energy efficiency in mind, integrated with transportation systems that use clean energy, and built with materials that minimize waste. Imagine cities where buildings generate their energy, where roads charge electric cars as they drive, where waste is a thing of the past. Urban landscapes would be harmonized with nature, not in conflict with it. Lastly, achieving Type 1 status would likely transform our relationship with the natural world. Rather than exploiting nature, we would learn to coexist with it, managing it without destroying it. We would become stewards of our planet, protectors of the delicate balance that sustains life. In essence, reaching Type 1 would not just be an advancement in technology, but a profound evolution in our values, ethics, and vision for humanity's future. A Type 1 civilization is not just about harnessing the energy of an entire planet, it's about the incredible technological advancements that such energy mastery would enable. Let's explore some of the fascinating possibilities. First, consider transportation. The ability to generate and store vast amounts of energy would lead to transportation methods beyond our wildest dreams. High-speed magnetic trains that crisscross continents, personal flying vehicles that eliminate traffic, space elevators that provide easy access to orbit. The sky, or rather space, is the limit. Transportation would not only be faster, but cleaner, more efficient, and more accessible to all. Next, we would likely see significant advancements in medical technology. With virtually unlimited energy resources, medical facilities could employ advanced AI, robotic assistance, and personalized treatments. The ability to understand and manipulate biological processes at the molecular and even atomic levels could lead to cures for chronic diseases, personalized healthcare, and perhaps even a new frontier in human longevity. health, and well-being could be transformed in ways that are hard to even imagine. In a Type 1 civilization, technology would also transform education and information access. Think of global networks that connect learners from all walks of life, holographic classrooms, AI-guided personalized learning, and virtual field trips to historical or even extraterrestrial locations. Education would become an immersive and universal experience, breaking down barriers and fostering global understanding. Moreover, the buildings and cities themselves would be marvels of technology. Imagine self-sustaining buildings covered in solar-absorbing materials, vertical farms that grow food right in the heart of the city, advanced recycling systems that allow zero waste, and smart urban planning that blends architecture with nature. The cityscapes of a Type 1 civilization would be breathtaking combinations of art, technology, and ecology. Beyond our planet, this civilization might also embark on extraordinary space exploration. With the technology and energy capabilities of a Type 1 civilization, interplanetary travel could become routine. Colonies on Mars, mining on asteroids, exploring the outer reaches of our solar system, and perhaps even interstellar travel could be within our grasp. Lastly, with these technological marvels, we would likely see unprecedented innovations in entertainment, communication, and social interaction. Virtual reality might become indistinguishable from physical reality. Art and creativity could be expressed in new dimensions. Human connection would transcend physical location, fostering a global community where distance is no longer a barrier. When considering a Type 1 civilization, one of the most thrilling prospects is the potential to explore not just our planet, but the cosmos itself. How far could we reach? What wonders might we discover? Let's delve into the uncharted realms of space exploration and interstellar travel. As a Type 1 civilization, our mastery over planetary energy would open doors to space technologies we've only dreamed of. The entire solar system would become our playground. Imagine regular missions to Mars, research bases on Europa, mining operations on asteroids, even tourism to the lunar surface. But that's just the beginning. Interplanetary travel would be the first step. Advanced propulsion technologies, such as nuclear or even antimatter engines, could enable spacecraft to traverse vast distances at incredible speeds. The limitations of conventional rocketry would be a thing of the past. The dream of venturing beyond our solar system might also become a reality. While Type 1 civilization primarily signifies control over a planet's energy, the technological advancements it would bring might set the stage for exploring nearby stars. Missions to Proxima Centauri, Alpha Centauri, or other intriguing exoplanets could be on the horizon. Of course, interstellar travel would not be without its challenges. The vast distances between stars, the need for life support systems, the effects of long-duration spaceflight on the human body, and the intricate navigation required for such journeys would pose significant hurdles. However, the innovative spirit of a Type 1 civilization might well rise to these challenges, developing novel solutions such as generational spaceships, hibernation technologies, or even the theoretical concept of warp drives. Scientific discovery would flourish as well. Telescopes could become so advanced that we'd see planets orbiting distant stars in remarkable detail. Robotic probes could be sent to the furthest reaches of our galaxy. The search for extraterrestrial life would be intensified, driven by new technologies and an insatiable curiosity. Moreover, space travel would likely become an integral part of human culture and identity. The shared experience of exploring the cosmos, learning about our place in the universe, and reaching for stars would unite us as a species. It would redefine what it means to be human. The possibilities for space exploration and interstellar travel in a Type 1 civilization are boundless and breathtaking. They invite us to envision a future where our home is not just Earth, but the entire cosmos, where we don't just look up at the stars, but travel among them. It's a dream that inspires awe, a journey that beckons us to explore, and a testament to human ingenuity and ambition. If we dare to reach for it, the universe may well be our next frontier. As we embark on the journey toward becoming a Type 1 civilization, there are critical questions we must consider that extend beyond technology and science. This path brings with it significant environmental and ethical implications. The harmony we hope to achieve with nature is both an aspiration and a challenge. A Type 1 civilization would require complete mastery over Earth's natural resources, but Mastery does not have to mean destruction. Imagine a world where we control the weather, not to conquer nature, but to protect and nourish it. Think of landscapes where technology and ecology blend, where urban areas grow without harming the natural environment. The environmental stewardship of a Type 1 civilization would mean understanding our ecosystem as never before, nurturing it and working with it rather than against it. Yet the power over the planet's energy would bring enormous ethical responsibilities, equality or disparity. This is a question that would echo at the core of this new civilization. With such great power over energy, who would wield it? How would we ensure that it's not concentrated in the hands of a privileged few? How could we guarantee that energy, a once scarce resource, would be distributed equitably, reaching every corner of our globe, every human being, regardless of socioeconomic status? These questions would define our journey and shape the ethics of a Type 1 world. The pursuit of this advanced civilization could also lead us into uncharted ethical territory in areas like genetic engineering, artificial intelligence, and even our definition of humanity itself. The balance between progress and ethics, innovation and responsibility, would be a continuous and complex dialogue. Furthermore, the cooperation required to reach Type 1 would necessitate a re-evaluation of our current political and social systems. Could we overcome cultural barriers, political divisions, and national interests to work together as a single, united species? Could we build a society where collaboration, compassion, and empathy overshadow competition, conflict, and fear? These are not just hypothetical questions, but real challenges that we would face in our journey toward Type 1. Imagine just for a moment a world without the internet. It's hard, isn't it? But what if in a blink, all of the internet was deleted and could not be recovered or used anymore? We're talking about a sudden and irreversible digital void. What then? Well, let's dive into this profound thought experiment. The immediate aftermath of the disappearance of the internet would unfold like a chaotic scene from a science fiction movie. We're not talking about a simple blackout here, but a complete and irreversible severing of digital connections. It would feel as if the whole world has suddenly hit a monstrous pause button, one that could make time itself seem sluggish. In this world bereft of the internet, all those ordinary things we take for granted would vanish. Communication platforms such as emails, social media, instant messaging apps, and video calling services would go dark. The ceaseless stream of data that we've been sending every second across vast oceans would halt abruptly, leaving a haunting silence in its wake. It would be like a digital apocalypse, causing an unprecedented disruption in global communications. This instantaneous disconnect would reverberate through every corner of the world. From multinational corporations relying on global video conferences to maintain seamless operations, to families and friends spread across continents staying connected through social media and messaging apps, all would be left stranded in a sudden, eerie silence. We would be compelled to fall back on older, more primitive methods of communication, such as letters, landline telephones, radio broadcasts, and broadcast television. However, without the real-time global reach of the internet, everything would become painstakingly slow. Emergency services would face significant challenges too. How would they communicate and coordinate without the internet? And think about GPS services, all of which depend on internet connectivity for real-time data. Navigation would return to relying on physical maps and asking directions from passers-by. Then there is the stock market. The trading floors of the world, which once bustled with noise and activity, have transitioned almost entirely online. A world without the internet would bring about a halt in trading across the globe, at least until we could return to a more traditional, offline method of trading. Imagine waking up one day to find that all the books in the world's libraries have turned blank. Terrifying, isn't it? That's essentially what the loss of digital archives would feel like in a world without the internet. Every single byte of knowledge that humankind has ever uploaded onto the web would vanish in an instant, leaving an unfillable void. Think about the countless YouTube DIY videos. Meticulously created and shared to teach and inspire others, they would simply cease to exist. From home repairs, cooking recipes, academic lectures, computer programming to crafts and arts, millions depend on these resources daily for learning and honing new skills. The loss would stifle creativity and personal development at an unprecedented scale. Further, consider the innumerable online databases, academic journals, news archives, and e-books that would be wiped out. Research scholars who rely heavily on these resources would find their work crippled. Our access to vast amounts of scholarly knowledge would be severed, hampering scientific progress. Online educational platforms that have democratized education, providing learning opportunities to even the remotest corners of the world, would be history. Also, many artworks, photographs, and historical documents that have been digitized for preservation would be lost, leading to a massive cultural loss. The effort put into digitalizing these pieces for posterity would be rendered futile. Future generations would be robbed of their chance to connect with their heritage. Moreover, all the data stored on the cloud, personal photos, documents, contacts, music, and more, would be gone forever. This would be a personal loss for millions of individuals who rely on cloud services for storage and backup. In a world heavily reliant on digital storage, the loss would be catastrophic. Rebuilding our knowledge base in a world devoid of the internet would be a colossal, slow, and arduous task. Much like a phoenix rising from the ashes, we would have to start from scratch, even for areas of technology and science we've already mastered. In the aftermath of such a catastrophic data loss, there would be a pressing need to recollect, recompile, and recatalogue everything we know, and that's no small feat. Let's start with the basics, such as our primary means of communication. Without the internet, email, social media, instant messaging apps, and voice-over IP calls would all become obsolete. Our ways of communicating over long distances would revert to traditional methods such as mail, telegrams, and landline phone calls. In essence, we would have to relearn the art of communication. For industries and businesses that heavily depend on the internet, the challenges would be overwhelming. Think of all the tech companies that have based their entire infrastructure around the internet. They would have to rebuild their systems, find new ways to communicate with their customers and between their offices, and redevelop their services to function offline. This could set back technological advancement by decades. In the education sector, the loss of online learning platforms and resources would necessitate a return to traditional textbooks and physical classrooms. A sudden end to the digital revolution in education would create a divide, especially in remote areas and underprivileged communities, where the internet has been a primary tool for accessing education. It would be a race against time to re-establish educational resources and systems that can function without the internet. On the other hand, some areas could see unexpected advancements, forced to rely less on the internet. We might see a resurgence of offline storage technologies and revival of forgotten ones. Moreover, the need to document and store information offline could foster the development of new methods of information archiving, leading to innovations in data storage and retrieval. Moving on to the economic aftermath of a sudden internet deletion, it would be a cataclysm unlike any other in modern history. With an estimated global online economy of over $10 trillion, the disappearance of the internet would be a catastrophic blow to the world economy, likely plunging it into a depression of unparalleled magnitude. Think about it. E-commerce giants like Amazon, Alibaba, eBay, and countless others would cease to exist overnight, and millions of people globally who rely on these platforms for their livelihoods would be instantly left without a job. The ripple effects would extend to other sectors, like the courier services that handle deliveries, the data centers hosting the sites, and even the manufacturers who supply goods. The financial sector, heavily reliant on internet connectivity for transactions, stock exchanges, banking services, and more, would be thrust into chaos. Transactions would grind to a halt, financial markets would be frozen, and trust in the global economic system could crumble. The process to rebuild these financial systems offline would be lengthy and fraught with challenges. Consider also the many internet-dependent businesses, from major tech firms to small startups. A world without the internet would immediately devalue these companies, potentially causing the stock market to crash and wiping out billions, if not trillions of dollars in value. Recovery would require a massive shift in business strategies, moving from digital to physical solutions and re-employing more traditional forms of commerce and advertising. Finally, the loss of the internet would hit the entertainment industry hard. The age of streaming services like Netflix, Disney+, or Spotify would come to a swift end, leading to a potential resurgence of traditional media outlets like radio, television, and print. Now let's transition to a less tangible but equally significant aspect. The social impact of the sudden disappearance of the internet. Today, social media platforms like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and others play a major role in our lives. They are our primary means of communication, information exchange, and even a source of entertainment. But what happens when they vanish into thin air? First, it would drastically transform how we communicate. The era of instant global communication would end abruptly. We'd no longer have the ability to instantly message friends and family across the globe, check our favorite celebrities' latest updates, or participate in the global discourse on social media platforms. We'd have to revert back to traditional forms of communication. Letters, landline calls, and perhaps even fax machines could make a surprising comeback. Next, consider the personal consequences. Many of us have our lives entwined with the internet. Our photos, our memories, our digital footprints, all gone in an instant. The sudden deletion of the internet would be like losing a part of our personal history, leading to a sort of collective digital amnesia. The psychological effects of such a loss are difficult to predict, but could lead to a widespread sense of disconnection and loss. The internet has also been a great leveler in terms of access to information. The sudden lack of access to vast amounts of information and knowledge could exacerbate social and economic inequality, with those who have access to offline resources gaining a significant advantage over those who don't. On the other hand, the disappearance of the internet might also have some unexpected positive consequences. The end of social media could lead to a decrease in comparison culture, and perhaps a reduction in associated mental health issues. People might start engaging more with their local community, and personal relationships could undergo a revival in the absence of digital distractions. Now that we've looked at the immediate impact and the potential long-term shifts, let's ponder a question that feels almost surreal in today's hyper-connected world. What would a future without internet look like? First and foremost, we'd likely see a slow but sure reversion to analog technologies. With no emails or cloud storage, physical documents and snail mail would become crucial again. Broadcast television and radio would regain their lost glory as primary sources of news and entertainment. Libraries, with their wealth of printed information, could once again become the epicenter of knowledge, just as they were in pre-internet days. A lack of internet could also stimulate new technological innovations. Humanity has an uncanny knack for finding solutions in the face of adversity. Perhaps we'd see the emergence of new, more advanced communication technologies, filling the void left by the internet. Alternative networks like packet radio or satellite communications might grow exponentially in both usage and sophistication. In terms of commerce, the massive online retail and service industry would collapse, leading to a resurgence of brick-and-mortar stores. The gig economy as we know it today would change drastically, possibly reverting back to more traditional models of employment. Cryptocurrencies would become irrelevant overnight, with the world falling back on traditional banking systems and physical money. In the sphere of education, remote learning would cease to exist, leading to a re-emphasis on physical classrooms and in-person instruction. Textbooks and physical research material would once again become students' primary resources. Lastly, let's not forget how our leisure time would change. Without the option to stream movies, shows or music, we might see a resurgence in physical media like DVDs and vinyl records. Video game enthusiasts would have to return to offline gaming, revitalizing the market for single-player games. But until that day comes, keep exploring, keep learning, and as always, thanks for watching.